You think that you're Mr. Everything. Well, I'm Mr. Anything. You know what that means? When you step in the ring with me, I will do anything to win, which is why I'm a 5-time world champion and you're a no-time world champion. Remember that.
Woo! Woo! Shots fired! Shots fired! Pew, baby! Took him to promo school, Jack. Took him to school. Oh, man. Hey, man. Oh, man. So, what's the big news with Roosevelt?
Well, in order for me to announce this news correctly, I need to get it from the horse's mouth, the man with the plan, the man who put it all together. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to welcome via telephone Mr. Jody Johnston, the owner of Square Circle Championship Wrestling. Jody, are you on, brother?
Yes, sir. I'm on, buddy. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. Now, you have granted me the opportunity to have this match against Austin Aries. We had him on the show, 6 months ago? About 6-7 months ago? Something around.
Yeah.
You take a second or two. And he came on the podcast and we did this thing called Promo School. And me and Mr. Aries cut a promos against each other in which we challenged each other to a match. And behold, we have manifested this opportunity, and you are going to give us that opportunity.
Opportunity.
To step in the ring. So tell us about Square Circle Championship Wrestling, and tell us why you decided to have this match on your show.
Thank you, Vic, for having me on the show. I really appreciate it. Square Circle Champions has been around since 2019. I started the company with aspects of having to grow and getting the best talent in on the roster practically every show. I was lucky to have our champion, which is Mr. Number One, of course, and Mr. Everything himself, Victor Andrews, going up against the number one contender for the SEC Heavyweight Championship, Austin Aries. We're happy to have him on the show. He won the number one contender spot against the god of the Milky Way galaxy, Ant Dominique, on the previous show. And it's going to happen September 21st. The doors are open at 6 o'clock, showtime 7 o'clock. It's going to be in Ferguson, North Carolina at the Mount Pleasant School. Address there is 532 Champion, Mount Pleasant Road, Ferguson, North Carolina. We'd love to have you guys. Please join us. We're very happy to have both of them. We've got several championship matches going on that night, too.
Now, I first met you years and years ago, and you actually own a comic book store. Tell us about your transition from owning a comic book store to opening up your very first show of your wrestling company, and what gave you the motivation to start running a company?
Well, if I make it to January, Victor, my Hero Class Collectibles is the name of our comic book store. We have been there for 9 years in downtown North Wilkesboro, here in North Carolina. Everything's been going great. We've been blessed with great clientele, super fans, as they say. And of course, I've always been a wrestling fan, at heart, growing up in the 80s, watching the best wrestlers. And I always thought it would be cool and to see if I could do it, to be a promoter. And I just, like I said, started doing it in 2019. Went to a couple independent shows, watched them, got some ideas, took away what might have been missing in some of their shows and tried to add it, to our benefit. And so far it's been doing pretty well. We've had some good turnout, good fans asking me all the time when the next shows are coming. So that makes me feel good. So hopefully I'm doing something right, Victor.
Absolutely. I do want to say that every show I've been to, we've had a sold out show. And like the building has been very packed to the point where people are pretty much standing in the doorway just to watch the show. Tell us about the hardship of running a wrestling company from the ground up. We're getting ready to start doing something ourselves with the Best Damn Wrestling. And tell us about the hardship, about how that transition is of getting everything started, getting a ring, finding buildings and sponsors and things of that nature.
Oh man, I don't know where to start. When things go smooth, it's almost too scary. It's almost scary if everything goes smooth because you know something bad is about to happen. Trying to land a venue, if you're trying to get a school, good luck. You got to jump through hoops to do that. If most people run from the armories, they're usually easier to get. So if you're starting out, that's what I'd recommend you trying to do. And you don't really have to worry about messing up their floors as much, so that's even better. Rent the ring. If you don't own your own ring, that can be a nightmare. You've got to go out and try to find some people that will bring you the ring and on time. Because, man, if you sell all those tickets and all those seats, you got the wrestlers coming, then all of a sudden someone drops the ball and they don't bring the ring, and you're screwed. All that stuff you got to stress about. You got to stress about the weather. I mean, it's a scary thing when things always mess up. Some wrestlers may cancel at the last second, but when it all comes together and everyone shows up, all the fans show up and they call you up and say it was a great show and they were happy to be there, it makes everything worthwhile. So far, we've been super blessed. We've only had just a couple of hiccups in the past 5 years. And right now, everything's going smooth. Now, I hope I didn't jinx the September 21st show by saying that. Now, everything's going really well. And we've been blessed.
Now, I'm the current champion for Square Circle Championship Wrestling, and I won the championship from Gunner, who used to be Jackson Riker.
Yep.
Tell us the mindset of why you chose Gunner and myself as the first two to compete for the championship.
Okay. Well, as you just said, you are a champion. You beat Gunner fair and square inside the square circle. Gunner is actually local to their area here in North Wilkesboro. He's not quite North Wilkesboro. He was about an hour drive at the Hickory location, but it was the two best wrestlers in our area, and I thought to myself, I was like, well, I got to get the two best wrestlers together. You know, if it's the Square Circle champions, then I got to have champions in here, you know, competing for the belts. And I contacted yourself. I contacted good. Somehow or another, that we got the show going. We got it linked up, and we had a great turnout and a great match. And you are our champion, and you've been our champion now for over a year. I think it's been over a year. I think it was it last July? Is that right?
I want to say it's been 2 years now, almost 2 years.
No, just 2 years. I can't remember anything.
All right, Brian, you got any questions?
Yeah, man. I know you said he runs a toy store, right? What's his most valuable item in the store?
What's the most valuable item in our store right now? Did I hear it? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah. The echo on my end.
Yes.
Okay. Right now we have, I think the most valuable thing left inside the store after our con that we did a Clash Con comic book convention about 3 weeks ago. We sold some high dollar stuff then. I do have a graded issue, first appearance of Moon Knight, The Werewolf by Night. I do have that in there. It's graded like a 6.5. And I do have a graded Fantastic Four issue 3. That's probably my two most valuable things that I currently have in the store. Besides, I think I still have my Spider-Man 2099 action figure Marvel Legend. That's up there around $800 too. But that's probably the most expensive things inside the store currently.
Now, you obviously have to be a big comic book fan and a toy fan. What is your choice between DC and Marvel?
Mainly go with Marvel. I was mainly started out with the idea of doing a hobby store altogether, and it just kind of went on with the comics. We had to start getting the comics in, but I was more of the action figure side of it. Was action figure heavy when I started 9 years ago, and of course we grew into the business. People were wanting DC, Marvel, the independent titles, and of course, you know, the movies started coming out around same time, so it really benefited us, and we started going from there. Of course, the Marvel movies have really helped the Marvel book sales, so I'm going to have to say I'm going to have to go with the Marvel titles right now.
Okay. And really quick, and I'm not gonna hold you too long, but ladies and gentlemen, I want to publicly let you guys know this is the man that helped me get over to Germany to be able to go and compete over there for Fight Back Wrestling. Me and Jody talk very, very often, and sometimes he just contacts me, and I feel like God would be sending him my way sometimes because he just pops up out of nowhere. I'm like, hey man, you all right? What you got going on? And I tell him, and he was the man that actually sponsored my trip to go over to Germany, to go over there and experience what I experienced. And I've told him before, and I'm gonna tell him again, you were a blessing. You've always been a top-notch guy since the first day I met you when I came into a comic book shop and did the autograph signing. And I'm blessed to have you in my life, and I really appreciate you a lot.
Thank you so much for that. Happy to have you in my life too, brother. Anytime you need anything, I'm always here for you. Just give me a call. I helped you out, obviously because I wanted to, but I wanted the world to see how I think you are. I think you're a wonderful person. I don't want to show the world how great you are over there too, buddy. And I know you rock the crowd.
Thank you. We do this thing that we every week where we give a final word to the fans of motivation or something to kind of keep them uplifted and encouraged. If you could give a final word, what would your final word be to the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast?
For all the fans out there, the final words is keep rocking and rolling, doing what you want to do. If there's something out there you're dreaming, just do it. You only have one life, and rock and roll it just like we do at the Square Circle Champions. That's probably the best advice and best words I can probably give you guys.
All right. Jody Johnson, ladies and gentlemen. Jody, I appreciate you, and I will see you in a couple of weeks.
Sounds great, brother. Look forward to it. Thank you for having me.
All right.
All right. Thank you, Jody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Got a cat named Jody.